Right, we're playing Maelstrom of War today. We're back in the snow and the mission is Contact Lost. So this is the one where you can only pull title objectives if you already own or dominating the table on the objective. So it's slim pickings if you're not in possession. So to scramble for those objectives and those strategic parts of the board. So we're not using the snow rules today, but we are going to be using mysterious terrain rules for the armoured crates here. So if you come within range of the crates, then we're going to have a roll on that table, see what happens. However, they aren't objectives themselves. The objectives are these bolt gun coloured objectives here. So there's one in the centre of the board there. There's another in the corner of this ruin. Another just outside of this ruin, just there. There's a third on this side of the board. Fourth one is quite out in the open there, so that could be dangerous to claim that one. There's another one in a safer place behind that armoured crate there. So there's all the objectives placed. We're playing Dawn of War deployment. We've yet to decide what sides we're playing on. 1850 of the bad guys in red. Normally I'm the good guys, today feeling a bit bad. So we've got Khorne Daemonkin. It is a combined arms detachment. There's something charming about the simplicity of a combined arms detachment, so we're going for that today. So leading, we have a Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. He's got +1 to his attacks for his Warlord trait. I've got a lot of troops. We've got 2 squads of Berserkers. This one has the Axe of Khorne and there's a plasma pistol. The other squad, they have a power sword and 2 plasma pistols. Both champions have a melter bomb. 2 units of blood letters, and there's a Reaper to lead them. And there's 2 squads of cultists, so we've got a big 25-man unit here, and there's a heavy stubber in there. And this one is hand-to-hand orientated, and there's a flamer in there. Both Berserker squads, they're going to have a Land Raider each, so just a plain Land Raider. And 3 fast attacks. We've got 2 squads of 2 spawn. One there, and a Helldrake. So he's going to come in handy, no doubt. So it's quite a symmetrical force. Lots of units to try and shoot through. Lots of blood tides. Should be okay.
Okay, so here we have 1850 points of Ultramarines, and they're led by the Chaplain. It's a combined arms detachment. Chaplain's in Terminator armour, assisted by Librarian in Terminator armour, level 1. I have 5 Terminators with Cyclone missile launcher there, and we have a small squad of Space Marines with a las cannon led by a sergeant with a combi plasma, and we have 2 bigger 10-man squads, Space Marines led by veteran sergeants. One veteran sergeant has a power weapon, the other veteran sergeant has a combi grav, and the squads have a flamer and a grav gun each, both of them riding in rhinos. Then we have 5 assault marines with jump packs led by a veteran sergeant with a power weapon, 2 flamers. Devastator squad led by a veteran sergeant and 2 grav cannons. And then we have the Ironclad Dreadnought. He's got a flamer, 200 kilo missiles. And we have the Stormwing, the Storm Raven, kitted out as you see it, and the Storm Talons with Skyhammer missiles.
Khorne Daemonkin, they get the opportunity to set up first, so we're going to take it. So they have stretched all the way across the line, trying to cover as many objectives as possible, so the cultists are already claiming one of the objectives in that ruin. The Warlord, Bloodthirster, he just plants himself in the middle. He's ready to strike on any unit that could deploy near him. He's just there to bully the battlefield a bit, make sure no one comes close. And then there's a wall of cultists, and then the two Land Raiders are on the right side, supported by the spawn. So the lion's share of objectives are on this side of the board, so they're ready to just quickly get round there and dominate this side. And then we'll try to create a bit of a standoff on this side. The Daemonkin, they've got the Helldrake in reserve and have placed 2 units of Bloodletters in reserve, so they're ready to deep strike in. The Ultramarines, this shouldn't take long whatsoever, have just deployed 1 5-man squad in this building here. Got a las cannon and a combi plasma. Everything else is in reserve. Terminators are in deep strike reserve. The assault squad, they are in reserve. So the fly wing, of course they're in reserve, but they get to come on all together as part of their special rule if they come on, which they should. And the Ultramarines do not want to attempt to steal the initiative, so it's just going to be straight on to Daemonkin's first turn. They're taking a big risk here, because if they can somehow kill that unit, I don't think it'll happen, then that's the game won early. But they might even run off the board if they fail a morale check, so it's risky just putting 1 squad down. But the Ultramarines base their games on courage and honour, so let's see how courageable? Let's see how...
We are incorrigible.
Well, I can't think of the word, but see how brave they are. There we go, substitute word. The Ultramarines are going to try and force the Helldrake into a dogfight, because we do play Death from the Skies. As the owner of the Helldrake, we do not want to do that, because we might get shot down. So it's a straight roll off to see who wins. 4, 2 for the Ultramarines, so we're going to refuse that dogfight.
Boo, coward.
He's not a coward, he just he sits in his nest and rubs his claws together. Khorne Daemonkin in their first moving phase, so we've got these cultists, the little red riding hoodlums. They've moved forward. They're going to fire onto this building here where the Ultramarines are lurking. The Bloodthirster, he's taken flight and he's moved. He's going to lash those Marines as well. And everyone else in the Khorne army has ran or went flat out. So these spawn have really hauled tentacle and they've went 18 with a run. And these not so fortunate, only ran 1 inch, but it's still enough to get within reach of that objective. The 2 Land Raiders have went flat out, they're closing the distance, going to intercept any Ultramarine that comes on from reserve, that board edge. The spawn, they're going to run. I haven't ran them yet, but they will just run but stay on that objective. Alright, so it's shooting phase. The Ultramarines need to hold on to the helmets here, because there's some cultists and their auto guns aimed right at them. Just before we launch into the shooting phase, we're going to see what these armoured crates are, because we are within reach to see what mysteriousness is lurking in there. So it's a 4, that is Architect ammunition. So you get a +1 to your strength of your rapid fire or assault weapon if you're within 6 of it, so only 2 cultists are going to benefit from that. But still, strength 4, autogun, that's pretty good. This one over here with the spawn is a 1, that is not good. It's a Xenos creature. Right, so there was a Gene Stealer in there. He's jumped out, he's going to do D6 strength 4 hits on the spawn. Just 2, they are toughness 5, he's needing 5s. No wounds. So the Gene Stealer causes no damage. Right, so after one of the spawn nearly gets one of his many eyes clawed out, he whips it and it's gone. So it just happens once, but once is enough. No more random Gene Stealers, please. Alright, so it's on to shooting phase. Right, so the red hoodlums, they fire through the window. They're actually on an objective, mysterious objective. That's gave them rerolls to hit of 1, so they've used that quite well. They'll achieve 5 wounds on these Ultramarines here. So we're going to see what the damage is. Oh, that is terrible.
Shocking.
3 go down, that's the front rank. That's the only 3 that we could kill anyway. Terrible news. And the last one to do anything is the Bloodthirster. He sends a lash through the window, but it doesn't wound, so it's now a morale check. They're on leadership 8. This is dangerous because it could fall off the board. So it's a 5 and a 3. So they are okay, they will stand. That's very, very lucky. Extremely short turn from the Ultramarines. One Ultramarine just steps forward to get onto the objective in the level below outside the building, and the las cannon just takes a snapshot at the flying demon with no hit. So no cigar there, no objectives for either side yet, but Daemonkin are moving in and fast. Right, the Ultramarines are going to try and call out the Helldrake again for a dogfight, so it's a roll off. It's a 3 for Daemonkin. It's a 5 for the Ultramarines. Oh, so it's a dogfight. Okay, so the flyers have been set up and the Ultramarines are the attacker. So the Storm Raven has stepped up. It's going to try and deal with the Helldrake before it turns up to the battle. The Helldrake wins the engage subphase and closes the distance 24 inches. In the manoeuvre subphase, the Helldrake has won again. It's 2 points higher on the agility value, so it's been able to swoop in behind the Ultramarine flyer, and it's a 24-inch range, so this next phase could say it all. Right, so the next phase does say it all, and it says nothing, because the Helldrake only has a bale flamer, and we're just assuming that you can't fire a bale flamer at another flyer, so that doesn't happen, but we do end up outmanoeuvring the Ultramarine flyer and getting away. If that just had a Hades autocannon, that would have been absolutely perfect. We'd been be able to shoot into the back of it, but it's not to be. We've outmanoeuvred and we'll get to carry on with our lives here. Right, so the dogfight has concluded. Just shows you if you had a Hades autocannon on the Helldrake, you might be able to do something in a dogfight. But we've been able to escape and the Khorne forces move on. So the Deep Strike Bloodletters arrive, they've landed and already ran, so they've dispersed, as has that squad there. The Land Raiders move flat out towards the Ultramarines lines, and the Bloodthirster continues to fly, so he is in the lines, but he's still up in the sky. The Spawn, that were behind the tank trap, they've moved up right in front of the Ultramarines, and there they're going to try and wipe them out in hand to hand. They've got a lot of attacks, could be able to do it. These cultists, they've fanned out just a little bit, and they're just anticipating these 2 flamers coming in from these Ultramarines reserves. Crucially, the Helldrake didn't come in from reserve, that's why a dogfight was engaged. So what that means is the Ultramarines will not have air superiority next turn, and they won't be able to get on the reserves as easy. We thought that was a sure thing to come through. So it's going to be a very tense moment for when the Ultramarines are rolling for reserves. Right, the cutlass fired at the Ultramarines and only caused a wound, but it was saved. So it's now the spawn. We're going to run in on these Ultramarines, see if we can wipe them out before the Ultramarines reserves arrive. So get your combat blades ready, Ultramarines. Not great for the spawn. They rolled very low on their attacks, only able to kill one Ultramarine, but luckily no damage on the spawn. So there's just one Ultramarine left on the table here. So the reserves are going to have to turn up, or it's going to be looking very, very grim. Right, victory point wise, the Daemonkin are on their way. So they've got one victory point for this cultist squad holding that objective, and one victory point for the objective held by this Land Raider here. So there's the first two victory points of the game. Still no first blood. We thought those spawn would have had it there. But here comes the Ultramarines reserves. Ultramarines reserves have arrived. The assault jump packs have tried to land here. They've ended up scattering 8 inches forward, so they're going to land on the cultists. We're going to need to see what happens to them on Deep Strike Mishap. It's a 3. That is misplaced, I think. Right, so the rest of the reserves do come in. So it's all happening now. The Terminator's Deep Strike with a more accurate Deep Strike. They came in just here. They're going to look to tangle with these hand-to-hand cultists. So dead bodies going to be piling up there, I think. This Rhino has moved flat out all the way up the table, and it's got eyes for the cultists. I think that's two combat squads in there with their graph guns, in fact. This Storm Wing has moved onto the table. They're in a vehemence pattern, ready to look to destroy those bloodletters. I think is it Strafe and Run that it confers to them, or is it?
No, we've got tank hunters.
Tank hunters, right? So they might have a shot at the Land Raider as well. So it's undecided. And the unit that was misplaced, Khorne has manifested them right here, right in front of the Berserkers, but out of range with their flamers. So disaster for the assault squad. Right, so it's shooting to be done by the Ultramarines. There's a lot of firepower in all of these flyers here. Right, so the Stormwing arrives and instantly makes the presence felt. They totally annihilate the Bloodthirster squad, that was the Bloodletter squad even, that was in this section of the board, and then a Power of the Machine Spirit, las cannon shot, one kill, the Land Raider blows up, and that gives them first blood. And then the Chaplain's Terminators with the Librarian with Divination Blade, they kill 5 Berserkers from the wreckage. So punishing turn there, and another Bloodletter destroyed from bolt pistols from this unit here. So tough going for Daemonkin, having the Ultramarines arrive like that. That lucky shot with the las cannon is definitely hurt with that Land Raider gone. And that concludes the shooting phase. So there's just this assault in this building to do. There's one lonely Marine with a las cannon here. Right, the last Marines killed quite easily by the spawn, so they're going to consolidate 6 inches. I think there's a Rhino to be had. So with that turn for the Ultramarines, there's 2 victory points there. There was no prisoners because of that Bloodletter squad, and the obviously the Land Raider went, and because the Land Raider went, that was first blood as well. So 2 victory points for the Ultramarines. It's pretty good. Daemonkin in their turn 3. The Helldrake still hasn't arrived yet, but we're okay with that. There's still Marines to hit the table yet. He wouldn't really get the benefit of arriving now, so we're okay with that. The sea of cultists have moved back, and the Daemonkin have invoked Insatiable Bloodlust, which means these are going to have Furious Charge and Rage. They've already got Rage, but Furious Charge is going to be good. And the Spawn, they're going to lend a tentacle in this fray. I'm going to try and tear down some elite units with the dregs of society here. The Bloodthirster, he's moved 90 degrees here. He's still flying. He's just going to make a nuisance of himself. And over here, there's a big assault on these assault units here. So it may look like a bit like overkill, but I feel that it might be necessary. Do not want to fill any charges here, so redundancy is the order of the day. The last move of the turn was the Spawn have moved from out of the building. They're going to assault this Rhino. It was quite a hard decision to make, because Daemonkin need that objective twice. But we're going to choose to take out the Rhino, because we can't allow that full 2 combat squads to just roam around the board at will. We're going to have to get them out in preparation for the Helldrake, so that is what's going to happen there. We're going to see what just the power of these heretics can achieve. We've got a flamer, it's going to get the whole lot, and there's a lot of pistols in there. No damage done from the cultists, but it is a las cannon shot from the Land Raider, sees off 1 Terminator. And 1 Assault Marine has been killed on that side of the board from a bolt pistol, and surprisingly that's all the firepower from Khorne. I don't normally play Khorne, and I'm surprised at the lack of firepower, especially when we're 1 Land Raider down. So it's on to assault, but this is where we shine. Right, combats, massive 12-inch charge in on these Assault Marines. We just used it as a bluff to try and get them to expend the Overwatch. They didn't buy it, and then I rolled a 6-6, so they went in with no Overwatch, and the Blood Letters have followed, so a massive crush of bodies in there. The Blood Reaver has issued a challenge to the Sergeant. Right, so the minions of Khorne just totally turn over that assault unit. It wasn't even hard at all. And they're going to consolidate the Berserkers 6 and the Blood Letters 6 as well. I like 6s in this corner. A woeful performance from the Spawn again. They only roll 1, even though they had double dice to see how many attacks they get. So terrible. They only put 2 hull points on this Rhino, so it's still going to be in the game. And now we wish we just took the 2 victory points that were on offer there. It's terrible because the Helldrake is not going to be able to burn those Marines inside down next turn, because we don't have any shooting to crack that Rhino. So really tough blow there for the Daemonkin. And it should perk up over here, because now there's a massive bodies. The crush of battle is clearly displayed there. They've got the Spawn coming over the wall, and they've got a lot to handle there. They've all got power fists except for the 2 characters and the Sergeant, who has been challenged from the cultist leader. So we're trying to get the blood tides up here. It's going to be a sea of attacks that this Terminator armour is going to have to weather. Is it as good as they say it is? Right, the combat is underway. Poor performance from the Space Marine characters, only able to kill 3 cultists, and in return the Spawn are able to kill 1 Terminator, but the real damage has been done by the cultists with Furious Charge and Rage. 23 wounds gonna have to be suffered on the Terminators, but there's a trick in there. The Librarian, what psychic power did he play?
Precognition.
Precognition, so he's going to try and take these 2 at a time and re-roll and failed armor saves because of the psychic power. So really powerful psychic power in this case and point. So 2 at a time. So you save them both. Save them again. This is going to take a long time. So he's failed 1.
Rerolling.
So he's passed it. Okay, so 3 hours later, rolled all the dice, and the Librarian has saved all 23, not even a wound taken on him, so that was just absolutely obscene. The cultists lose that combat and they bail out. Luckily they only fall back 2 inches, so they've still got a little way to go before they fall off the board. Hopefully they'll rally. But that was a very disappointing turn for Khorne there, I must say. That we had everything lined up to make some good inroads on taking out these Space Marines, but that was atrocious with all those saves from the Librarian, and not taking out that Rhino is really going to hurt Daemonkin in their future turns. So that is it. We're going to have to calculate points here. Right, so point has been fairly fruitful. We've got behind enemy lines and there's 3 units there, so it's D3 for that one. That is the full 3, at least we're getting the victory points in, so there's 3. We've got Hungry for Glory for issuing a challenge, and Khorne Cares Not for wiping out a unit, so there's 5 victory points in that turn. So out of the ashes of despair come some points. Could have been more than that if we just chose to take those points with the spawn instead of attacking that Rhino, but the temptation was too much. Right, Ultramarines, I've rolled for reserve and it didn't come on, so there's a Rhino just not doing anything, and this Rhino here has moved 12. It's sitting on this objective, and it's frustrating for Khorne because they need that one twice. If only we just took that last round. So Ultramarines are making steps to make that even harder, so good play there. And the Stormwing, the Ultramarine Air Force, staying in that fighter pattern. They're going to hose down all of the Berserkers in this area of the board, and probably with the Tank Hunter special rule do the same thing again and do a Power of the Machine Spirit Las Cannon at this Land Raider. Hopefully he doesn't get as lucky as he did the last time and blow it up with one shot, but we expect some damage at least. Just to remind people, this is Death from the Sky, so they're not attack fighters, sorry, they're not fighters, they're just attack fighters, if you know what I mean.
Attack flyers.
Attack flyers. It just means that they can't fire at this flying demon prince on full ballistic skill. They only have to snap like everyone else. So just in case anyone was wondering. And it's still just a fight over there with that combat, ongoing combat. So they've only got the spawn to carve through now, and those cultists will probably have their time to die, sure enough. So on to shooting phase. This is going to be horrendous. So just to remind everyone as well, this has got an Ironclad Dreadnought attached to it, and a small unit of Devastators, so they're just looking to buy their time. So it's a lot of firepower and reserves in the air there. Right, this Rhino snapfires, and out the hatch snapfires causes a wound on the spawn. It's pretty good going, and the damage comes through from this Air Force and takes out the remaining Berserkers there, and really punishes the Bloodletters as well, and kills 2 Berserkers. So damage, big damage here, and I don't know if Khorne can even shoot these down. There's only a Land Raider that can snap fire at them. I think they're going to go untouched all game. There's ongoing combat, another spawn's being brought down, and the Librarian does his trick again and saves on his Terminator armour to the responding attacks. And he did roll a double 1 and gets to re-roll it because of that psychic power in play again, so it's getting really frustrating now. So it's Khorne Daemonkin, turn 4. So the Helldrake will come on now. Right, we're into turn 4 for the Daemonkin now. The main movement this came from the spawn. They're just going to come back and have another bite of the cherry on this rhino. If we do that, there's a victory point in it for us, possibly more if everything goes right, who knows. These cultists, brave old cultist rally, and they're not going to be able to do anything this turn, but next turn they're going to have another go at that command squad. The flying bloodthirster, he's came out of flying mode, he's jumped 12 and then ran behind this building. He's going to try and get in there next turn and see off this warlord here. The Helldrake has came on, and he's not going to do much this turn. We're looking to choke this area so the flyer wing doesn't come flying in, and the Land Raider has picked up the Berserkers again, and then it's moved 12. We're going to try and snap fire at the Ultramarine Air Force, and we've got 2 bloodletters. They're going to stay on that objective. We're just trying to look a lot, although numbers are slowly dwindling, and we've played Feel No Pain as the Blood Tithe card. So a little bit of survivability here and there, but it's that Stormwing really does the damage. So it's on to a few snapshots from the Daemonkin here. Hopefully we can make some of those jink perhaps, who knows. Right, this Khorne Land Raider, furious by the loss of his twin, is going to get revenge. He's hit twice on Snapfire on this Storm Raven. He did opt to jink luckily, and there's 2 pens, so he's going to have to save these on 4s. Oh dear, one has slipped through the net. Let's get a red dice. What is the damage here? It's a 2, goes to 3. There is a Dreadnought on board. We're hoping that would shoot that down, but we'll take a whole point. Right, so in this combat, the Chaplain and the Librarian just smashed that spawn, last remaining spawn to smithereens, so he's gone. And over here, this Rhino finally goes up and smoke the spawn, get their revenge. But the Ultramarines disembark and stop the spawn from scoring that objective twice, so that eludes us still. And it's now Ultramarines' turn, so not much damage on that turn, but we've got the jink that we wanted from that flyer. Points wise, Khorne do get a victory point for destroying that Rhino, and another victory point for this Land Raider securing that objective there. So the points are still trickling in, and it's up to the Ultramarines to do something significant here. They have got a squad in a Rhino to come on from reserve, which will automatically turn up, so reinforcements will be there, but is it too little too late? Ultramarines' turn, the Flyer Wing has moved out, split up from an attack formation this time, attack pattern. This one is going to look to engage the Helldrake, and these two are going to try and chip off some wounds off the Bloodthirster. The Terminators and the Librarian, they've come round to deal with the Bloodthirster as well. The Librarian has cast Force. Oh dear. So this Bloodletter on Bloodthirster, although he might as well be a Bloodletter, we've got a feeling that he's just going to succumb quite easily here. These Ultramarines, the Tacticals, they've fanned out, trying to spread out in case the Helldrake survives, and they're going to look to take on the spawn. And then the support Rhinos finally came on from reserve. It's got 2 combat squads in that one, so that is finally here. Alright then, so it's shooting. It's going to be very, very tough for the Daemonkin here. You have got Feel No Pain in play for the Daemonkin, but that force weapon is what we're scared of. Okay, bolt guns in effect, they take down the spawn quite easily. They haven't even played Tactical Doctrine yet, they've just been winging it, being arrogant Space Marines.
Winging it alright.
Well, these are winging it. The Helldrake elects not to jink, and he comes away without even a hull point, so he is ready to go next turn. And the Snapfire and Storm Raven manages to achieve a wound on the Bloodthirster, which is a bit of a wounder, but these do not achieve a wound. He jinks the missiles, and no bolters find the mark. But there's been a few cultists laid low from the Storm Talon, and enough to make them take morale checks. So they've lost their champion, so they're on a, oh no, aha, 6, that'll do. Actually, we'll say that's cocked. Be kind. Oh well, they failed, so they're going 4 inches, so they're not going to fall off the board. But they're not going to be able to join that combat next turn either, so it's just really hard to bear. Okay, so here's where the action is. The Terminators have made their assault. The Sergeant with his butter knife, power sword, has stepped up for the challenge.
Well, he got pushed to the front.
He got pushed to the front, unwillingly went to the front. He's got to earn his Terminator honours, so it's the Bloodthirster to go first, but really the thing to look out for is that Force Staff. That has got instant death, and that is very, very unwelcome. So, Bloodthirster to go first. 5 wounds dealt out from the Bloodthirster, so gonna have to save these on Crux Terminator saves, so on 5.
5s.
That's a good roll, but 3 Terminators go down, so I imagine that's everyone but the characters. Right, so 2 Terminators have fallen and a wound on the Chaplain, but we're going to do the important one. This is the Librarian. He's got 3 attacks. He's hitting on 4s against the Bloodthirster. 1 hit. There's a Chaplain, so he's still got Zealot, so you got to re-roll those 2 misses. Right, there's 2 hits. Strength 7 this staff. Strength 6 even, so he's going to need 4s to wound. So there's 1 wound. This is really crucial. He needs to make a 3+ save or he's insta-killed from that Force Staff. Okay.
Oh.
Right, so the Bloodthirster's dead. He rolls a 1 and it's instant death, so it doesn't even get his feel no pain. So it's a Warlord kill and my despair. So not only is that a point for the Warlord going down, it's hungry for glory as well. So there's 2 victory points for the Ultramarines and it's well needed. I believe they are a little bit behind on the victory points, but they're doing well on the damage. There's not a lot that Daemonkin can do against them. They've just been running around on these objectives, but not a lot of damage done. Right, Daemonkin turn 5 now. The cultists, a couple of them have moved within range of this crate here. It gives these 6 that have moved there. It's going to give them +1 strength to their weapons, so we're going to look to try and kill as many Ultramarines as we can. We've got support from the Helldrake. In the movement phase he did Vector Strike this Storm Talon.
You tempted.
Well, that's the word, isn't it? Attempted. D3 only rolled a 1, and then even with Demon Forge he just could not even achieve a glance, so terrible for damage output. This Land Raider, he's moved 6, pivoted, he's going to take some shots at the Flyer again, and these what they're called, Berserkers, they've got out of the Land Raider. Going to have another crack at this squad here. They've just been on borrowed time all this time. They've seen too much action to come away alive. This unit of Berserkers, they've fired 2 plasma pistols and bolt pistols, able to achieve a wound on the Librarian after a lookout, sir. But the real news is this Land Raider shoots again at the Storm Raven, hits it twice again, pens it twice again, and opted not to jink because it didn't think it could happen twice. So it's been blown out the sky, and the people on board are going to have to take some hits here. So there's 2 grav cannons, it's strength 10. Oh, 1 survives. So 1 grav cannon dead.
Oh.
The Sergeant, he is dead, and then the 2 other ones, they're dead as well. So there's just 1 grav cannon alive. And then there's a Dreadnought attached to that somehow. He must be inside.
Grovels.
Yeah.
Underneath.
So he's in there, and he's going to take a strength 10 hit. I'm sure it's on the back, but I can't immediately find in the rules where it says in the back, so we're just going to take it on the front because I can't find it at the moment.
Okay.
So armor 13 against strength 10. Okay, no damage. So that is removed and those models are placed. So that is unbelievable. Yeah, these cultists make good inroads on the Ultramarine unit and killed the lion's share. The Helldrake only killed 2, I think. And it's up to the cultists, even with these, with their special ammunition. And rolling ones on this objective do very well. So, not as well as that Land Raider shooting down a flyer, but now it's up to this assault to really impress. They're going to need to do something spectacular. We need to kill that librarian, and there's a lot of victory points if we do. So they're going to assault in and chop them up. Right, the Berserkers go in the main business. The challenge was issued and actually killed the librarian straight away. And we didn't die in return, so there's a blood tithe point for killing the librarian, and there's at least 2 victory points in it for us there. Then the Berserkers go on to cause 8 wounds on the Terminators, so the chaplain is on his last wound as well. So this is going to be crucial to see if he hangs on here. So 8 wounds to save on 2s. And they all save, so that's good news for the chaplain. He is the warlord. Right, the chaplain and his Terminator friend do no damage in return. It was a woeful performance. Power Fist, as they usually do, just don't do anything. So that is a victory, a small victory for Khorne in that corner. That's vengeance for taking out the Bloodthirster. Right, because we killed the librarian in that dark, dingy building, we've got 2 victory points for it. There was Witch Hunter and the Blood God Scorn, so that's pretty good. He's trying to protect these librarian going into a challenge like that, but the Berserker performed very well. So there we go, there's 2 points for Daemonkin. And it's on to Ultramarines to their... What can they do? That Dreadnought's going to pile in, he's going to tear up some Berserkers, but it's points that they need the most. Right, Ultramarines, the remaining 3, they're still going to hold that objective. They're not going to give that one up for the Helldrake to go on to, because that would be 2 points to the Daemonkin. They may be behind, but they don't want to be too far behind. It's all about pride now for the Ultramarines. This Lonely Grav Cannon Devastator, he's going to pump some shots into the Land Raider. And the Ironclad bursts through the wall, and he's going to look to join the combat and try and save the Chaplain Warlord. The Flyers, they've gone into hover mode. They're going to try and dispatch those last 2 Bloodletters and get some shots into the back of the Helldrake, because if they've been shooting anything like this Land Raider, then the snap firing should be okay. Right, so let's go get some firing done for the Ultramarines. Okay, it's getting desperate now for the Ultramarines. Just 2 cultists go down from that small amount of fire there. The Storm Talon, he does get a lot of hits on the back of the Helldrake, but fails to penetrate, so no dice, and the Helldrake did not jink. Just a single Grav Cannon puts 3 hull points and an immobilized result included on that Land Raider, so that's just what 1 Grav Cannon can do. And now we've got this combat. It's all about pride now. Can the Warlord be saved? Okay, the combat is resolved. The Chaplain and the Berserker Champion, they just trade blows, nothing happens. And the last Cyclone missile launcher Terminator, he gets dropped. But the Ironclad comes in, makes himself known, and takes out 3 Berserkers in return. So they have saved the Warlord. The Ironclad is probably going to mop up those Khorne Berserkers. And the Storm Talon has claimed that victory point there in the corner.
Emperor's Retribution.
So there is 2 victory points? Or 1?
1 for
just
the Emperor's
one.
Retribution.
Alright, so there's 1 victory point scored. Right, the crucial one is, does the game continue on a 3? And it does. Okay, so we're just going to call the game there because the point difference is just too much for the Ultramarines to come back from, we think. It's a 12-6?
12-6, yeah.
12-6 to the Daemonkin. Well, it was actually a brutal game for the Daemonkin. They lost a lot of units there. Ultramarines, they just did not show up until it was too late, I don't think. too much in reserve perhaps. The mission is pretty brutal, especially if you're going against a forward thrusting army like Khorne or Orcs, but that's the way it goes. I don't think I got the best out of the Unfettered Fury demon. He just didn't do a lot. He flew around. He was trying to cause disruptions in the backfield, but you just didn't take the bait. So don't think I got the best out of him. I'll probably have to come back to Khorne and have a better attempt. But this is the debut of the Ultramarines as well, so there's a bit of learning to be done there as well. Okay, we're going to see units of the game. For the Ultramarines, it was the Librarian. He took an amazing amount of punishment for all those cultist attacks, and he had his psychic power reroll and armor saves. He just took 23 wounds with ease, didn't even fail one. And for the Daemonkin, it's going to be the Spawn that did a lot of good work moving up this side of the board and taking out that squad in there. Could have scored a lot of points, but they harassed that Rhino. I just felt like they were the good unit, fast and get on objectives. They did what they need to do. I wish it was a different unit for the Daemonkin, to be honest, but it didn't seem like anything really shone in this game. But I feel it was a good game nonetheless.